Hello and welcome back to Foodinati UK, and this week we've got Sam Binga on the show from Pineapple Records. We're going to be finding out all about Detroit-style pizza with well-oiled pizzas in Meanwood. Keep it locked. Hi, you're back with Foodinati UK, and look who I'm with. It is the UK-based music don. Sam Binga's in the house.
Hello.
From Pineapple Records. And the reason why he's here, apart from to talk about blazing UK based, is pineapples. It's a divisive subject. We're going to have to cover this at some point. So we've got three of the finest pineapple sauces known on the circuit. So we're going to be checking those out. That's in the second part of this interview. In the first half, what have you been up to?
What I've been up to, well, I just come in from Manchester, played a show in Manny last night, which was vibes. Manchester's always a lot of fun, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
I used to live up there back in the day, so yeah, I got a lot of love for Manchester. And then yeah, we're doing a pineapple event in Leeds tonight.
Yeah.
Although I imagine this goes out after tonight, so I can't use it to hype the event, but if you can travel back in time, you should definitely come to the show that's happening later today.
Try that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, off to America next weekend for a little run.
Oh, nice.
And actually, speaking of food, I'm doing a show in Minneapolis, and the last time I played there, I remember having a plate of food which was massive, large amounts of food, all of which seemed to have very little taste.
Oh, right.
Large amounts of solid, just stodgy working food. Yeah.
I was going to get around to that. Like, you are very well travelled. I've been following your exploits, and. Where have you been where you've had the best food?
Oh, I mean, do you know what the place I always say that comes to mind for the best food is probably Georgia. And not as in Atlanta, Georgia, but Georgia, Tbilisi.
Yeah.
Just really amazing food culture, real pride in it, and just such good flavours. And also, just a lot of really fresh ingredients. Everyone grows a lot of their own food and stuff. I remember we had a taxi ride, I had to get from Tbilisi to Batumi, which is like an 8-hour taxi ride for a show.
Right.
Stopped on the way at some like roadside cafe and just had like bits of cheese, bread and tomatoes, but like I've never had tomatoes that were as good as that.
I had this discussion on tomatoes and pizza specifically, and it is regional. Like you can taste the difference. There's a reason why Sicilian pizza tastes so good, is because the climate is so perfect.
Yeah.
For growing and all that sort of stuff, yeah.
Well, speaking of pizzas, I was also going to say, like, next weekend I'm also in Chicago, and I played there for the first time in April this year, and had a deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
That's a heart attack in a pan.
It's like a baby pool filled with cheese, isn't it? It's just...
Yeah, and it's thick as well, salty too. Luckily, I was really hungry.
Yeah.
But I think if you're not starving, you're gonna struggle. Like one piece, it's like a pizza cake, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cheesecake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So your label's Pineapple Records. What we got coming up?
We just got an EP that's been rolled out at the moment. It's by a young producer from London called Jemmy, who's kind of known for rolling with Conductor and that whole kind of new KG thing.
Yeah.
And he's remixed 3 of our back catalogue tracks, and they've come out super good. Nice. So yeah, they're sort of dropping. If we got a single, we try and drop like on EP. We try and drop singles from 2 weeks apart, so you keep things moving.
Sure.
So yeah, one of those just dropped today, and then after that in January. Got me and Nicky Nair from Georgia, but Atlanta, Georgia.
Right.
And I was out there in July this year, and we just kind of holed up in his studio for 3 days and churned out 3 tracks.
Wicked. So, I've noticed America's like really like, they seem to be where we were at like 10 years ago with drum and bass, as in the excitement of it. Like it's really big business now, where it took a while to translate.
I think America's in a really exciting place right now, because not obviously, the drum and bass thing is like the big room, the sort of main stage drum and bass thing is starting to happen at those big EDM festivals. But there's also a really bubbling underground of people who are like making and playing UK garage, or some UK funky and jungle, and this kind of excitement for like a UK approach, which is weird. I mean, the whole history of dance music is a back and forth between America and Europe, or America and the UK. So it's really nice to sort of, see that other side of the equation pick up again. I think post Footwork, there's been a lot more interest in like regional US dance music.
Absolutely.
Which has made, I know it made a big impact on what I did. Like the footwork explosion made the stuff that I was making more interesting.
Absolutely.
And I feel like there's like a real lot of cross-pollination happening.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that, like, especially in your early Pineapple stuff, there was a like kind of heavy Duke sort of vibe to it, and yeah, it was very exciting. Just because you were sort of occupying a couple of spaces at the same time, and that made it like more interesting to listen to your tunes with drum and bass and stuff like that. Because
I think any
magpie mentality.
Exactly that. I think any genre that becomes too self-referential and too kind of like bound by its own guidelines, I feel like it gets a bit boring, or it can even kill it. You know? I mean,
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
There's definitely been scenes that I've been involved in where it was like, hang a second, you guys are no longer interested in what's happening in the wider world.
Yeah.
You're just focusing on what each other's doing, and like sometimes like that can lead to a real creative, you know, like a real sort of strength and depth. But more times, I think it just leads to formulaic, inward looking, and not that exciting. You know.
Absolutely, and I think we both know what we're talking about.
There's been a few, but yeah, I think we've got one in particular.
See, that was where myself and Sam first met. Was on the UK break scene. You were working with ID at the time, Binga and ID.
Taking it back.
Yeah, but this, 2007, I would have said 2007 to 2009. You were doing Big Monster.
Yeah, that was a project with Ed. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's when we first met through NSB. God rest her soul. Yeah, so coming up from the break scene, it was an exciting time for a bit, wasn't it?
For a minute, it was super exciting. Like in Manchester, where I was living, there was the whole scene with the Electro Sluts and Fuse.
Yeah.
And that was in a muchly missed club called the Roadhouse, which was normally a band venue, but they had really good sound engineers. It was like, and it's the perfect space for dance music. It's like a small dark room in a basement.
Yeah.
Like that to me is what dance music is built in.
Yes.
As fun as playing the massive stages is, I still feel the essence is those small dark rooms.
Definitely. I mean, I know with 601, I do prefer the sweatbox ones. I do prefer it when you when you have people
the
right
white
there.
to the eyes.
Yeah, all that. Because when we did Glastonbury, for instance, like masses of people, really good. You played the same stage, I think, Temple in the Common, yeah. It's a really big area, and you've got the pyro and everything, and it's great and everything, but you're kind of away from everything. You're up in your little box, looking down at what could essentially just be baked beans, you know?
Yeah.
So I do like those little sweatbox gigs.
I think also it makes you play different. Like when you're playing to a huge crowd of thousands of people, you have to make the more obvious gestures. You have to let people know what's happening. When someone's like as close to me as you are now, you can kind of get a vibe where it's like, okay, I'm going to try something, and you're going to get it because, you know, it's going to be a bit of an interesting shift.
Yeah.
Rather than like, okay, this is a huge crowd, I have to make each move very like telegraphed and clear, you know, so.
Absolutely, it's the small gigs are good as a breeding ground for something that you might not have chanced it with like thousands, and then you go, oh, that works, and then you used it at the next gig in front of the thousand, and you know that trick's working.
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. But also like just you know, tunes that don't have a big build-up, tunes that don't really do a lot, tunes that are just tools really, they're really good fun to work with as a DJ, but again, they're not going to maybe generate that sort of obvious reaction that like a big crowd like that is looking for, or you know, needs almost, you know.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to Glastonbury, I was really excited to play there because it's such an eclectic crowd. We could drop whatever we wanted. I mean, it had to work, obviously, but yeah, we were dropping like some grime tunes in there and stuff as well, which all works with breaks, you know. That's the thing, you can mix it up.
Yeah, I think Glastonbury this year I was playing in the Rum Shack.
Yes.
At like 3 or 4 in the morning, and I dropped some B-more or Philly club tune, and it was like, it went off, and that's come back in my set from that now, you know.
Yeah.
But that was maybe like a 400 or 500 capacity tent.
Yeah.
And it was going off still. But like maybe I wouldn't have tried that if it'd been like, okay, I'm in front of 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Is this going to do it, you know?
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your style of drum and bass is it's very unique in itself. This is why I love your production so much, is because I know your production's a mile off. It could be because I've been playing them for a long time, but yeah, how do you find that? Because, you know, Netski isn't. You know, it's definitely it's got its own sound, and there's not a lot of people that sound like you. How do you find you fit in with the bills of your Nicky Black Markets, DJ Hypes, all that sort of stuff? Does it?
I mean, I don't really get booked on the same lineup as like say a DJ Hype too often. I guess I'm lucky in that from an early stage when I was from I've been making like 170 upwards. I've been working with Critical, who have been really supportive.
Oh, they're awesome.
And have let me do pretty much whatever I wanted. You know, I've released footwork tunes with them. I've released dancehall with them. I've released jungle. You know, electro, grime, all sorts. Them. And they've always supported that because, well, I just think Kazra, like, you know, Kazra's a fan of the music. You know.
Yeah, I've always liked Critical because they're in the same vein for me as labels like Ninja Tune or Warp or something, where you just know you're going to get quality. You don't know what type of quality you're going to get, you know it's going to be quality. You just know you can rely on that label. It's a quality that you don't find masses of these days. They'll have a couple of artists that you know are good, and then some of the hit and miss. Critical, everything that's come out in Critical I've liked. Like,
they're. I mean, the thing for me is, I mean, I'll be honest and say that, like, within the Critical catalogue, there's some elements of it that aren't really for me. But then there's some elements that really are. And I know there's a lot of people who like the stuff that I'm not into, who wouldn't like what I'm into either. But it's wicked that can all still kind of work together. Up tempo, exciting music, hopefully.
Absolutely, and it's bringing you back to those eclectic labels, which you know you could get a bunch of different things on, like Ninja Tune, like Warp. I mean, Critical released tunes by Meth Just and also by Coco Bryce. There's not a lot of labels that are putting out that range from, you know, jungle to neuro or jungle to just bangers. Absolutely. Right. So, what's your release you've got coming out this week?
At the moment, it's Jemmy versus Pineapple. So it's Jemmy remixing some of the back catalogue. It's all kind of like garage, two 4/4 garage tunes, one 2-step. All with vocals from Redders and M's, who are. I'm lucky in Bristol in that there's like so many amazing vocalists that I can phone up and bless my half-finished ideas and make them good.
I love Redders. Redders, he just sets it off every time. I really like.
He's a unique guy. M's as well. M's is killing it. He's just got that tone of voice where you're like, oh yeah, I need to listen to what this guy's saying. So much of, I think, MC-led music is just tone of voice. If you've got the tone, then you're 90% of the way there. You know?
Absolutely. I was discussing this with Mad Rush. We have Mad Rush MC on, and he says, like, quite honestly, he has 3 voices, like 3 different styles. And he said a lot of MCs do. You've got the hype man, and then you've got your deep down dirty one, and then you've got, you know, your more rap style as well. And I was thinking there's a parallel there because I've spoken to death metal singers who say the same thing. They've got different ways they growl and scream and whatnot. And he's just using the voice as an instrument.
100%.
You know? And like you say, the MCs that do well are the ones that have got authority in their voice. They will command a crowd. They are the master of ceremonies.
Definitely. But the thing is, I mean, I'm a big fan of Houston rap as well. And like a lot of the best Houston rap is about the same 3 subjects. Like, you know, shiny cars, wood grain wheel, smoking dro, candy paint, you know, and it's like, but if you've got a good enough voice and you can put a little twist on those topics, then I'm cool with that, you know?
Man.
I'm not someone that needs to hear, you know, a tune that's telling me about the 5th level of the new Illuminati. I'm okay with that, you know what I mean? Like, just tell me some, what's that thing that Ghostface said? It's like, say some dope shit and make it sound fly. Or the other way around, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I need. So,
Right, on that note, we're going to sign off on the music. I'm looking around all the cameras so my editors can't have a go at me. And we're going to get into some food after this message.
Boom. Awesome.
All right? Yeah, that's rad.
Nice.
And if you like what you see there, please subscribe. Only takes 2 seconds, really helps our algorithms. Be doing us a big favour. Right, you're back from Foodinati UK, and you've heard those messages from that slightly handsome-looking young man. We've got some food here from the power of television, and what we're doing today, we're all about the pineapples, because Sam's here. So, we have, from Hotheads, we have the pineapple tropical hot sauce, habanero.
Look at that.
That's from our friends Hotheads. From up here, this is Yorkshire, I believe. Screaming Chim? Yeah, Durham. All the way from Durham, we have Screaming Chim. That's a new one on me. I've only just picked that one up from our friends at Chilli Shop Leeds this morning. And this one you'll have seen on the last show, Pip's Hot Sauce. This is their Oca Grande. Okay? And that is that. So, what we'll do, is we will mix and match on these. So I think, because this one's open, we'll start with the Bocca Grande.
Awesome.
Now, I'll let you do your own dabs.
Okay, what kind of heat are we talking about here?
That's a medium.
All right.
I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Now, that's not pitched as a pineapple sauce as such. It's got pineapple in it as one of its main ingredients.
That's lovely.
But it's really nice, sort of tropical tang like that.
That is really good. That's Binga recommended.
Boom. Right. That's cool.
Where's this one from again? It's from
Birmingham.
Birmingham. Right, hold tight the Midlands gang.
Now I've got the Screaming Chin, all the way from County Durham. Let's check out this bad boy.
I was going to say Durham is definitely not in Yorkshire.
No, it's not in Yorkshire.
As originally from Hull, I have to be very clear about that.
Yeah, geography's not my strong point.
Well, neither is pouring hot sauce apparently.
No.
Oh my days.
This is a little...
Okay, well I think there needs product design maybe needs a bit of work on here. This is...
Maybe that's part of the review.
Yeah.
Could pour better.
Could definitely pour better. Oh shit.
Right, this is a thick sauce, so I know that for a start.
THICC.
Indeed. Right, Screaming Chin.
Very sweet.
Very sweet. Now that's definitely pineapple. We're getting a lot of the pineapple. Not so much of the heat either.
So far the Bocca Grande is winning.
That's what's winning. We'll just talk about what's winning. So, Pip, you're doing well. Right, next up, out of Gloucestershire, we have the Hot Heads Pineapple Habanero. Got high hopes for this because I like hot heads, I like habanero, and I like pineapple. So let's have a go.
I got to say, I like Gloucestershire because my good friend Rad Shafiq is out of Gloucester. So hold tight, Ryder. And yeah, Hot Heads Pineapple Hot Sauce. All right, what have we got here?
Right.
A good pour.
Oh, that's spectacular. That's a lot hotter.
Okay. Not too much. Let's find out.
So that's a pineapple habanero. Now that's got the hot kick. Hot Heads, you don't disappoint. Always bringing it. Friends of the show, always sharing it. So, what are you saying, Binga? Is this up your alley?
Yeah, I like that. I still think this Bocca Grande is the winner.
I would say so too, actually. Yeah. So, Pip, 2 shows in a row. I've been bringing you up. So there you go. You're the winner of the Pineapple Wars with the man who runs Pineapple Records, Mr. Sam Binga. We're going to carry on troughing, and you go off and do whatever it was you were doing before you turned the video on, all right?
Big ups.
See you now. I'm back with Foodinati UK, and I'm here at Well Old Pizza at Meanwood Tavern in Meanwood, Leeds. And I'm here with James.
Now then.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. Very good.
So you're specialising in Detroit style pizza. Can you explain to me what differentiates a Detroit style from a normal everyday pizza?
Sure. All right. Well, apart from it being the world's best pizza, there's probably 3 or 4 distinct differences that people will experience. And number 1, it's cooked in rectangular steel trays. So unlike a round pizza, you're going to get a nice rectangular pizza. Number 2, it's a focaccia style dough. So it's deep, thick, light and fluffy. None of that thin rubbish.
It's very light, I have to say.
And we cold ferment our dough for 48 hours, which means that that's a chance for the gluten to work its magic, break down, create some lovely flavors in it, and so it's super light and digestible. Number 3 is that unlike most people will know kind of Neapolitan as the latest craze at the moment, we use loads of toppings. So fundamentally, it's pizza on crack, really.
Yeah.
This is loads and loads of cheese. And what happens is that the cheese melts down the side of the hot pan and the rising focaccia. And so you get this lovely caramelized, crispy edge, which is called a frico crown. And it's like that. It's the amazing bit that you get on a cheese toasty. Yeah. That really lovely kind of sort of umami rich kind of bit that hits you. You have that all the way around.
Absolutely. I remember when I saw your promotion around town, it was, I can't remember exactly what the strapline was, but it was something along the lines of best pizza you've ever tasted. And I was like, right, are we reinventing the wheel here? I was skeptical, I have to say, to begin with. And then I came down here and I have to tell you, it is. It actually is the best pizza I've tasted. It tastes fantastic, absolutely awesome. I had to pull it.
Yeah.
Or,
Spicy
one, because as you all know, I like spice. And that didn't disappoint at all. And it wasn't too spicy, it was really well balanced.
That's right. Look, I think that spicy pizzas, dishes, or whatever can often become a bit of a willy waggling exercise.
Yes, exactly.
And for me, it's got to be about the flavour. That's what we try to kind of do first and foremost. Well oiled. So there's 3 different types of chili on that. So you've got our own pickled chilies in there, which are a mix of 3 different chilies. You've also got our house fermented hot pepper chili, which is fermented red peppers and Scotch bonnets, which are then pickled for at least a week. And the third thing is something called Urfa Porviva, which is Isot chili flakes, where there's lovely sort of black caramelized, tobacco-y, dark chocolate kind of sort of flavor. And you put those 3 together and it really works.
Yeah, I was having this discussion with Pip's hot sauce about how the way she likes to engineer her hot sauces is flavour is king first. Spice is great, but it's secondary to flavour.
Yeah, 100%.
Because there's too much stuff out there that's like just hot and you wouldn't put it on your food.
Yeah.
It's just for green people. That's all it is.
That's right. Yeah, so on that point, we could easily do a hot sauce, which is willy waggling. Yeah. And there was definitely some willy waggling here on Sunday after a busy shift. So we ferment our Scotch bonnets, and so we have a huge kilnadar. It's about this big, with God knows, I mean, about 60 Scotch bonnets in there. And someone decided to kind of say, well, I'll give one a go. And then if you're all sat there with a pint, no one turns it down. And so we were all around the table munching these hot fermenting Scotch bonnets. I had one, and that was it. That was it. Someone had 2, and there was game over.
Absolutely. I mean, I had some Scotch bonnet fudge on the show, I think, and yes, managed to. Well, there's a rock guitarist that will never be the same. But yeah, I love Scotch bonnet myself because I'm a big fan of jerk chicken and things like that, and Scotch bonnet is, the base of a lot of that Jamaican food. It just pairs nicely with everything. I think it's an all-rounder. It's a fantastic chili. But right, the other flavours you've got some interesting ones. You've got some goat's cheese pizza, haven't you?
No, that's at the other place that you're at.
What?
I mean, if we're talking about some more original ones, there is the smoked pancetta and pickled pineapple.
Yes.
Which is a little bit different. And then we've also got our full spec, which is finished with whipped ricotta and hot honey, which is a little bit different.
My neighbour likes that one actually. My neighbour came around and said, "If you're going up there, you're gonna have the honey one."
Yeah.
So he was raving about that. So how did the idea for Well Oiled come out? I mean,
all right. So I used to be marketing director for various different hospitality groups. I left the last one back end of 2019 to set up a marketing consultancy which specialised in hospitality. What could go wrong in 2020 starting a business in marketing specialising in hospitality? Nothing!
all of it.
So I, like loads of other people, found a lot of time on my hands during furlough, and I always wanted to do my own thing in hospitality. It was just a matter of trying to kind of sort of find what pulled my chain.
Yeah.
And so I went down the rabbit hole of Instagram and happened upon this bubbling up trend, which is Detroit pizza in America. And it just kind of it gripped me because there's a story and a narrative to it. There's a real sense of expertise and craftsmanship that's needed with it. And so you put those 2 together. That got me interesting. So I started on journey and making Detroit pizza.
Yeah.
So for 5 weeks, every single day, I made Detroit pizza. Pretty much all of them were failures. I ate pizza every single day for 5 weeks. I put on a stone. The kids fell out of love with pizza. But
Wow.
do you know what? Exactly, big call. But at the end of it, I was really proud and I thought I'd come up with something quite good.
Awesome.
And then just around that time, I saw this blog in America, and it was the vice president of marketing for Pizza Hut America, who said that Detroit pizza was the biggest trend hit in America in the last 10 years, and as such, they were putting it into all 7,000 Pizza Huts in America. So I was like, right, well, this is going to be huge over here. Looked in the UK, there was only 2 places in the UK doing it. So that lit the touch paper. I then put money where my mouth was. I'm a marketeer. I'm not in any way a cook, but I got out and we went and did a series of pop-ups. One at Dough Hut in Leeds, one at Leeds Deli, and they were all instant sellouts, rave reviews. And so from that point, I was like, right, well, I've done all the bits that I need to. Now can I get it to market? And so a chance, serendipitous meeting with a chap called Ed Mason, who owns 5 Points Brewery and White Locks in Leeds, who bought East of Arcadia, was turning it into the Meanwood Tavern, needed a food operator, and fast forward 6-7 months, and here we go. We're on track, and we're trying to trailblaze with bringing Detroit pizza to the UK.
Yeah, and all the reviews I've heard so far, all of my foodie friends that have been in and checked it out, they've all raving about it, saying that, oh my god, yeah, we were just expecting pizza and it's not. And it's right. If you like pizza, you're gonna like it. But if you want something different to what you've had before, it definitely is that. It's fantastic.
Well, that's it, because the way I look at it, it's a bit more of a blank canvas. So if you take a New York style pizza or a Neapolitan pizza, it's very thin, and so your ratio of dough to toppings is more kind of toppings and dough.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why probably those pizzas are quite sparse in terms of their toppings. It's the role reversal with Detroit pizza, because it's focaccia style, so you've got a big, thick, light, fluffy base.
Yeah.
You need lots of flavour to kind of punch through that.
Absolutely.
And so if you can grasp that notion, then you can kind of really go to town with it. And I just think that it just, with Detroit pizza, maybe it's a story or the narrative or whatever it is, but it just seems there's more opportunities to riff on different flavours and push the boundaries a little bit.
Absolutely. I was watching a documentary on YouTube the other week about a Detroit style operation which they only employ former inmates, and it was mainly because of the dough making process.
Yeah.
They have them in overnight, like literally while the lights were off, like, you know, making this dough and like proving it.
Let's hope they had some nighttime vision.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the plans for the future? Have you got plans for beyond here?
If Putin doesn't blow up the world,
That aside.
then yeah, 100%. So look, the vision is always to try and get up and running and have our own site. So we are on the hunt for a site in Leeds at the moment.
Yep.
Fingers crossed, 2023 we can get the first one up and running. And then ideally, I'd love to kind of have one in some of the UK cities up here in the north, Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Newcastle, Sheffield.
That'd be lovely.
If we could do that, that would be a good thing. But look, we are here at the Meanwood Tavern for the time being, and let's give this a good bash. Okay, so here we are in the kitchen. So I was telling you about the 3 distinct differences that are relevant to Detroit pizza. The first thing is that it's cooked in a rectangular steel pan, as you can see here. These are from all the way from America. The second thing is that it's a thick, light and fluffy focaccia. So you can see here the dough comes up to about here. So you will see when you cut it through. And the second thing is there is loads and loads of cheese. So that's now going to take about 7 minutes. Should do it like that. Okay. Okay. So we're about a minute away from taking it out. So I thought it just worth kind of chatting about the history of Detroit pizza. So it all started in 1946 in Detroit, over in America, and there's a pizza restaurant over there called Buddy's. And the chap who owned it was married, and they wanted to update their menu. So like all good men, whether they go for the innovation and ideas, their wife. So he spoke to his wife, and she was her mother was Sicilian, so she gave her a Sicilian focaccia style recipe, the dough. So that was number one. And being in Detroit, which is the motor city of America, where all the cars are made, what they found was that people were coming in from manufacturers, workers, with these trays like this, metal trays, a little bit different to this, but essentially the same. And they use these to catch grease on the cars, to put nuts and bolts in it. And so these used to get left in the restaurant now and again. And so they took this, they put the focaccia style dough in it, and hey presto, Detroit pizza was kicked off. And with Detroit pizza, some people call it an upside down pizza. So what most people would know from pizza is it goes sauce, cheese, toppings. In Detroit, it's flipped. So it's cheese, sauce, toppings.
Next week on the show, we've got Jay Butler from Grand Theft Audio coming on the show and telling us all about what he's got going on.